morning, Lionhearts. It's your old pal Jordan the Lion. How are you all doing today? I hope you said great. I'm doing great. And today, I'm going to try to do the impossible once again. You just saw that I have posted the vlog on Bugsy Siegel. That was one that it actually took me 4 attempts to make that vlog, but I was dead set on wanting to make it, and I'm glad that I got to do it. I'm glad that so many of you enjoyed it. Now, one of the other ones that I had tried to do once before, actually 2 times I have made a vlog, and trying to transfer the vlog over the memory card has had a glitch, and I've lost the vlog. One of them was in Wichita, Oklahoma, and one of them was the vlog that we're going to do today. Now, the reason that I hadn't done it was because, well, it was heartbreaking knowing that I put that much work in and I lost it, and then I had replanned on doing this vlog when Doris Daze collection was being auctioned over in Beverly Hills. I thought, hey, this will be great. They're gonna show the collection. I can go in there, show you guys, and then I can go back to these places once again. However, everything happened in the world that shut down everything. And right before they were going to do that auction, they quit allowing people to go view it. So I wasn't able to do that vlog then. Then, after that, the restaurant that's part of this story that we're going to end up at, they announced that they were closing and that they may never reopen. So I just thought this was completely hopeless. Why bother even doing anything? But the restaurant has reopened, so I thought, you know what? Let's take some initiative. Let's go out there, pay homage to the great Doris Day, and go see one of the houses that she lived in for better part of 2 decades, and then even after she wasn't living there, she kept the house for another couple of decades. I think we'll enjoy this. Days with Jordan the Lion, it begins right now. And it's also going to be a special Patreon sunglass vlog for Stephanie Marie. I hope you are a Doris Day fan. Alright, we're going to take Sunset Boulevard down to Beverly Hills, Crescent Drive. Here's the old Amoeba Records on the left. It won't be there anymore when it reopens. Here's the Chateau Marmont, this big castle looking thing up here in the corner. Here's Jay Leno's Carnies. So the woman that we knew as Doris Day was actually Doris Kappelhoff, and if it weren't for her having an unexpected injury when she was a teenager, she wouldn't have even become a singer. You see, she was raised in Cincinnati, Ohio, and her father was a choir director, but she actually had most of her interest in dance, and she had a dancing partner named Jerry that for years throughout their early development and teen years, for years they were planning on being a dancing duo, and it even came out to Hollywood and took a course on becoming a teen actor or dance duo that would perform in movies. And they came out here, they, you know, basically found out that they had the talent to do it. They were accepted. She went back to Cincinnati to pack up her things and was out riding with some friends in a car, and they had a serious accident. Some of the people in the car died, and Doris ended up surviving, but she destroyed her leg and ended up having to take many months, almost a year in recovery, and found out that she wasn't going to be able to be a dancer any longer. So she had started listening to the radio and then started singing. And her mom would hear her and said, you know what, she was a natural performer, maybe we should get her voice lessons. And before she knew it, she was performing on WLW in Cincinnati on the radio, and she had been picked up by a big band leader who had already auditioned 200 singers and couldn't find what he was looking for. Heard Doris on the radio, picked her up, and through that band she would meet a man named Al, also known as Terry Jordan, who would become her first husband. And unfortunately, that would be a very, very bad marriage. He was schizophrenic and used to beat her, including on their wedding night, and just really made life terrible for her. She eventually got out of that and started touring around with Les Brown as his singer, and she had to leave her son that she had had with Al, who was named Terry Jordan. Her son had been named Terry Jordan. Al also went by Terry. So her son had to be left with her mother while she went out and was touring around trying to make a living as a single mother because she was getting no help from Al. And it was through all of this that it eventually had her performing on Bob Hope's radio show for 2 years and got her a audition for a movie. And actually she was heard, one of her songs was heard by the songwriters of the movie and said she has to be the one that sings our song, and went to the director, Michael Curtiz, and he offered her the job. And she said when he called, "I'm no actress, I don't know the first thing about acting, I'm just a singer." And he liked her honesty so much that he hired her anyway. And from 1948 until 1968, Doris Day was one of the mainstays in Hollywood. She was always doing lighthearted comedy, singing, and then she eventually got into dramas. And in 1951 she married a producer named Martin Melcher, and they moved into the house that I'm going to show you now over here on Crescent Drive. Now this home is actually on the market for sale right now. It was built in the 20s, but Doris bought it in 1951. That was actually the same year that her and Martin were married, and they bought this house. So throughout her whole big career of Calamity Jane and Teacher's Pet and Pillow Talk and Send Me No Flowers and all those classic movies, she would have been living in this house. Now Doris was known in Hollywood for being a person who was being Doris was known in Hollywood as being someone who was very comfortable at home. And Johnny Carson, when he used to have her on, used to joke about that, saying, "People say you never leave your house." And she said, "No, I leave the house when I want to, enough." But she loved this place and spent so much of her time here. And as many people may know, she had this enormous love for dogs and for saving dogs. And so while she lived here, she had dozens of pets over that time, because she moved in 1951, lived here until the mid-70s even, before she started living full-time in Carmel, and didn't sell the place until 2006. Now Doris was kind of pigeonholed as the all-American girl next door, and she said, "I didn't paint myself that way, I don't live my life that way, but that's how I've always been cast." And it was pretty successful for about a decade. And then things started to change, so that's why she started to do, she had started out doing musical and comedy numbers, but she evolved into actually doing movies with Alfred Hitchcock, which I thought was pretty cool. See if we can get a little closer in here. And eventually over time has become one of the highest grossing female actresses for box office in history, leaving behind many movies that are just absolute classics. Like I said, all those Rock Hudson movies and ones that she did with David Niven and James Garner, Clark Gable. But what's sad is that she had become this huge star and had amassed all this money over time, and then Martin, her husband, got sick, and she found out that he had pretty much bankrupted her. He was acting as her manager, and along with her attorney, they together had basically squandered all of Doris's money. And she found this out at the end, and found it out when he was sick, so she didn't get rid of him and decided to stay living in the house with him, took care of him until he died, and then found out after he died that he had committed her to having to do a television show, which she was not wanting to do. She actually didn't like TV, and he had also signed her up for television specials, and they were things that she really couldn't get out of. So her son, Terry Melcher, Martin, when he married Doris, he had adopted Terry and changed Terry's last name from Jordan to Melcher. So Terry Melcher helped Doris produce what would become the Doris Day Show, and she did that sitcom for 5 years. But again, that was kind of a lighthearted sitcom, and the times were changing and it wasn't as popular. So eventually, after her run of doing that for 5 years in 1973, that's when she decided she was pretty much done with having a career in Hollywood, and started moving away to Carmel she did eventually have, you know, some shows out there where Rock Hudson would come out and be a part of it, but for the most part, she retired. And it was funny, I read an article from a woman that said that she came out here to visit Doris back in the 60s and said that her and her friends had taken a road trip out to California. All they wanted to do was meet Doris Day, and they came here, and they went up and knocked on her door and said she was so nice that she invited them in for the day, let them swim in her pool, eat her food and everything, play with their dogs, and then invited them all to spend the night. How cool is that? Yeah, and it was said that anytime she would go anywhere, if she saw a stray dog anywhere, she would always adopt it. Said she couldn't stand to see someone not taking care of a dog, so said it was almost like a magnet. If she went to the grocery store, there was a stray dog. If she was out walking and there was a stray dog. And she was known in this neighborhood for loving to ride her bike. One of the places that she used to like to ride her bike was over for breakfast over at Nate and Al's. So we're gonna go over to Nate and Al's now, leave Doris Day's estate, well, what was her estate up until 2006. And I'll actually go over to the other side and show you a picture of her standing in that doorway. So even though the awning and everything has changed, there's a photo of her right here. It is the same house that she owned, but it said that it's been remodeled quite a few times over time. So we'll imagine that she were riding her bike out of here and taking it down Crescent Drive, and I'm going to show you something I'm going to show you the path that I assume she would have taken over to Nate and Al's, because it's not too far away, just a few blocks. Show you some of the houses along the way. Now I'm going to turn down Elevado because I want to go over here to Beverly Drive, hoping I can show you something along the way. Might make you laugh. Found a couple different people online saying that they used to see Doris riding her bike through this neighborhood constantly when she lived here. So now we're heading down Beverly Drive, like I said. The reason I think this is funny is because this is the street that they had the Beverly Hillbillies, the Clampetts, driving north up this street towards us in the intro. There are all kinds of different houses from all different eras. This is one of those areas they like to tear them down and rebuild new. This is an old one. This one has a statue of someone sitting on a bench over here reading a book. See if we can zoom in and see if it's anyone in particular. Oh, that is awesome, isn't it? Isn't that beautiful? Oh, there's the Statue of Liberty. That's always fun to see, to accidentally run into. Looks like people have tagged it. Oh, that's a cool fountain. It's a giant gate door. Wow. Oh, that's a cool statue at their front door. Take a look at that. Take a look at this. They have some front door art. I mean, it's literally like a front door with a fountain built onto it, or built into it, coming out of the lock. That's interesting. Now we're going to be passing through the Beverly Hills Park here. So Doris definitely would have been passing by this on our way to Nate and Al's. And that is Santa Monica Boulevard, so we're going to cross over there. Say hi to this guy on our way. Sorry about the wind. This used to be some of that art that was like wings that you could stand in the middle of and take a picture, and now they've changed it to a Kobe memorial. Well, here it is. They've been in business since 1945. Miss Doris Day used to eat a lot of her breakfasts here. She said they used to nickname her Miss Susie Cream Cheese because she was always eating cream cheese on a bagel here. Always riding that bike down this street to come enjoy a meal here. Johnny Carson used to eat here a lot and said he used to run into her. Larry King eats here whenever he's in town when it's open. So let's go see if we can order something to go. Just opened a couple days ago too. They've been closed for quite a while. We didn't think they were ever gonna reopen. They didn't think they were gonna reopen. You never would have seen a menu outside like this on a classy establishment in Beverly Hills before all this stuff. No question, it is very, very expensive, but I really love Jewish food, and this is one of the best in town. I think I'm probably gonna go for the Hollywood. I get here a little before they open, so they're about to open. We'll place our order now. Well, it's just open from here, so we'll order from here. You can kind of see where Doris Day would have used to hang out, Johnny Carson. You can see now that they opened up, they put a little bit of signage out front, and you place your order right over here, and then pick it up over there. Right over here is the famous deli counter. All right, so I placed my order. It should be out any minute. Now you can see there are more people out here waiting for their order. All right, we got our food. I got a black and white cookie for a friend, but I went ahead and got the Hollywood. All right, let's go home and try this out. Unfortunately, we couldn't dine in today like Doris Day would have, but. All right, I lied. I think I'm gonna eat it in my car, but this is for a friend, so if you've never heard of a black and white cookie, they're really good. All right, so it's rather expensive. My bill was about $24, $25 for a sandwich, pickles, and a little macaroni salad and a black and white cookie, and then I tipped him, so it was about $30. But I never eat here, so this will be a little special treat for us since we thought it was never gonna open again. All right, let's dig into this. Okay, that's interesting. When I opened it, it's sandwiched in between two plates. Didn't expect that. So what the Hollywood is corned beef, coleslaw, Swiss cheese, and Russian dressing. Kind of a Reuben, but you swap out coleslaw for the sauerkraut. It might be expensive, but it's also probably the best one of these type of sandwiches I've ever had, and I love Jewish food like I said, so I know what I'm looking for. That was incredible. I think we'll save the other half though for dinner. Wow, holy smokes, this macaroni salad is fantastic. Chock full of flavor. I mean, it is unbelievable. Really, really good. That seriously might be the best I've ever had. And the pickles are just an absolute must. However, I did not enjoy these pickles. So if you're wondering how Doris Day became Doris Day instead of Doris Kappelhoff, it was because obviously they thought that didn't have a great ring to it, and she was known for a version of Day After Day that she sang that was so great that they said Doris Day. Why not go with that? Now, I found an interview with Terry Melcher talking about the house that we saw today, and he said, Mom didn't really care so much for that house. She could have really cared less. She loved to garden, and so that whole back behind the house was where she gardened. So he said it was not uncommon for Clark Gable, Jimmy Cagney, Judy Garland, Rock Hudson, people like that to be dining over at their house, Billy Wilder, all the time. Kind of cool to hear some of those stories come from him. Well, my friends, we're going to call it a night. I hope you enjoyed that vlog. You might also be interested to know that Doris Day was sued by her neighbors when she lived there because they said she had too many pets. They didn't like it, and Terry said that was quite a shock to her when that happened. She, you know, being an animal lover, she just really hadn't ever thought that that would be a problem for anyone. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. I want to thank my new Patreons, JD Dreyer, Jonathan Julius, Joel Lancaster, Janet Matthews, and Dan Bankert for joining Patreon and helping to support this channel. Thank you all for watching. Stephanie, I hope you enjoyed your Patreon sunglass vlog. We'll see you all next time. Have a great night and goodbye.